Today's edition of Channel 97 News is sponsored by Antidote Media Solutions, located in downtown St. Louis.
Welcome to this edition of Channel 97 News.
We come to you today from the OHS Commons. Here's a look at just some of the stories you'll see on today's show.
We take a look at a recent talent show held at Nadelman Auditorium.
Speaking of talent, we showcase one of Oakville's most fascinating students.
We visit with perhaps the most interesting man in the Melville School District.
And we take a look at how one of our wrestlers fared at state.
We'll have all that and much more on today's edition of Channel 97 News.
And it all starts now.
Welcome back to Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News. I'm Evan Locknett.
And I'm Kira De La Fuente. We begin today's show with a look at what's happening around OHS.
Hi, I'm Morgan Williams, and this week around OHS, we look at DECA's recent success, Oakville hosts some very special athletes, and we take a look at drama's first ever performance in the new auditorium. With many winners at districts this February, DECA is now moving on to state.
State DECA will be at Lake of the Ozarks over spring break, and I'll be taking 4 students with me, Madison O'Brien, Madison Stinnett, Dory Kennan, and Bridget Pagano.
There were a lot of people, and it was I was really nervous, but it was fun. It was a good experience.
It was really exciting. It was a lot of hard work that finally paid off. So I spent about 30 hours on one of my events, so it was really cool to qualify for that.
OHS recently teamed up with Special Olympics for an all-day basketball tournament.
We were looking for something to kind of replace polar plunge because we had done that for so many years, and this provided us an opportunity to just not raise money, but to actually have the experience of working with these special athletes. It was a learning experience for them to come here and to participate, and it's a learning experience us for have these kids here and just enjoy the day with them.
My son Harrison is 14 and he's loving it, and he really likes his buddy. He's having a great time. He's scored 8 points so far.
Favorite part, honestly, is just watching the smiles on these kids' faces. I mean, when you see them see a brother or sister or even make a basket, the light up is actually, it's truly amazing to watch.
The drama department's enchanting spring play will be making its premiere soon.
Play is Fairytale Courtroom, and it's about the Big Bad Wolf and the Wicked Witch are on trial for their crimes, and basically it's just the jury scene of their courtroom.
The play is March 6th and 7th at the Nadelman Auditorium on the Melville School District main campus.
It's a good change because we have a lot more seating, and so a lot more people will come and see the plays. And it's also good that we're using the space that the district has given us.
That's all for this week in Around OHS, and we'd like to wish the Golden Girls good luck at their national competition this weekend in Florida. With photographers Maddie O'Brien, Sophie Syme, and Natalie Schmidt, I'm Morgan Williams with Channel 97 News.
Does Oakville have talent? If you were at Nadelman Auditorium on February 15th, you would know the answer to that question. Here's the story.
The stage was set on Saturday the 15th as several of Oakville's best performers participated in the first ever Oakville's Got Talent.
The talent show is a fundraiser for the choir program and to help us raise money since we're going on a trip this year. Is kind of unexpected to New York.
I see that we have some people who play piano and the instruments and dance and also sing, and some do both at the same time. So I'm just thrilled to see them in such an awesome venue here.
Although a talent show is nothing new for Oakville, this year the stage was shared with some younger performers.
You tremble like you see the ghost. as we deliberated about it, yeah, we wanted to include the middle schoolers pretty much right off the bat.
I think it's great that middle schoolers were able to be in the talent show because it gives them a space to show off their talent and to be able to be themselves.
I think that anything that we can do to provide a connection between the middle school, the elementary school, the middle school, the high school is going to be in the best interest of kids in the long run. So devising an activity like the talent show, which is very kid-friendly, is a great idea.
Over $1,800 was raised, and performers of every age proved that Oakville definitely has talent. Be sure not to miss the show next year, and with Morgan Smith and photographer John Duchesne, I'm Kevin Darnold with Channel 97 News.
Congratulations to Benny Bowie, the high school winner of the Oakville's Got Talent competition. Benny won by playing the guitar, but that's not his only talent. Here's his story.
There's that bend, right? There's that bend.
OHS junior Benny Bowie never ceases to wow students with his magic in the lunchroom. But just what was it that inspired this magician?
My little brother did, actually. He did, I remember the first trick he showed me, it was a little math trick, and I thought it was really, really, really cool, and so at the time it was kind of like uninteresting, but after a little bit, it kind of grew on me, and yeah, I guess that's how I started it. It was just my little brother. I practice all the time. Not necessarily like with cards inside of my hand, I don't, but like inside of my head, I rehearse routines because the worst thing that somebody can do is mess up their wording while they're talking. I haven't been doing it for that long, which is really surprising. Not even a year ago, it was this summer actually, right before I came in to my junior year.
He offered to show us a common trick.
I'm showing you this because this is honestly a very dangerous game. It's called 3-card monte. There's a secret move to here where the only reason people do this little confidence builder round is to get you assuming that the first card I throw down is that ace, when really I have it in my hand. All right? So instead of throwing down the first one, I throw down the second card, right? Because that ace is still here. Yes. That's the entire move right there, right? And so the rest is just verbal misdirection. And so it's obviously over here. If I were to do the move cleanly, it's obviously right over here. It's very hard to follow now. Like, this is a very dangerous game.
Benny doesn't plan on making a career out of magic, but wants to continue entertaining students.
It just takes a lot of practice, and it's really frustrating whenever you can't get a sleight down, or whenever you can't get a move down, whenever you can't get a routine down. But it's totally worth it in the end to have somebody's face just brighten up at that moment, because whenever you perform to somebody and have that kicker ending, then even if it's just for a second, like the person turns into like a little kid where anything is possible.
This is Megan Menzel with photographer Michaela Deacon for Channel 97 News.
Today's edition of Channel 97 News is sponsored by Antidote Media Solutions, located in downtown St. Louis.
Today we profile a man who has probably the most important job in the Melville School District. Here's our story on Dr. Eric Knost.
Dr. Eric Knost is in his 3rd year as superintendent of the Melville School District. While the job is sometimes stressful, he has found ways to make things interesting. Dr. Knost utilizes social media to interact with and maintain connections with the community.
In this day and age of social media, that's just a great avenue, you know, to connect with people, and it's worked well. But it's important to me because I want people to know who I am. I want people to know who their superintendent is. If I want to be a good leader in a community with 90,000 people, I think they have to know who I am, what I'm all about, and not just that I'm a guy sitting in an office at Central Office.
Another way he keeps things interesting is Bow Tie Tuesday.
So I got one for Christmas and learned how to tie it, and I wore it on a Tuesday. There was nothing significant about that, but I wore it on a Tuesday and received more compliments than I've received in forever, maybe. It was overwhelming. The compliments just kept coming. And one gentleman said, "Oh, it must be Bow Tie Tuesday." And it just stuck in my head, and I thought, So, so the following week, I sent an email out to some of the other administrators and said that, and it just started growing, and it's still growing. It's still in its infancy.
It's not all fun and games for Dr. Knost. He takes his job very seriously.
I believe if students fall in love with life, that they're going to be successful. So to me, that's paramount over test scores. It's paramount over worksheets. It's paramount over everything we do. Our focus should be on helping students thrive.
It's easy to see that Dr. Knost has become very popular with staff and students. With Kira De La Fuente, I'm Maddie Elking with Channel 97 News.
2 OHS wrestlers made it to state. One made it all the way to the medal stand. Here's more.
Second place from Oakville, Dominic O'Neill.
Dominic O'Neill qualified for state by finishing second at districts in the 138-pound weight class. For O'Neill, this marked the third straight year that he had made it to state. But just qualifying was not enough.
I guess it's a good accomplishment. I don't know. Until I medal at state, then I'll be happy then.
This here is the wall in the OHS wrestling room that features all the names of the state medalists in the history of the OHS wrestling program. Now, for the first time in 6 years, OHS has a new name to add to this wall. O'Neill defeated Lindbergh's Andy Durkis on February 22nd at the University of Missouri to finish 5th in the state.
It was a big relief. I've been working ever since 6th grade. I've been working up to this point, and just reaching that goal just felt like a big relief.
It was a relief for us too, because we knew he had the ability from the time he was a freshman to get a medal, and I know getting down there twice and not medaling was, kind of heartbreaking for him. So to finally see him achieve everything that he's put into it, as a coach, is awesome that you see a kid who works that hard finally get what they put into the sport.
For O'Neill, getting his name on the wall is only part of what he did for the program.
Dominic never let me give up. There were times where I was not very good at all, and he encouraged me to get better on a daily basis. He would work with me before and after practice, and he was always there to give me advice.
He was more of a quiet leader. He wasn't the guy that was going to start yelling and get everybody going that way. He led by example. He was working in the off season. He was in the weight room nonstop and pushing himself in practice every single day. Dominic did a great job. We knew what he was going to bring every single time he stepped on the mat. So, he had 42 wins at the end of the year, so he led the team in wins. He fell just short of breaking the school record for senior wins. So he had a great season, had a great career. He ended his career with 110 varsity wins.
O'Neill has no plans to wrestle in college, but he left his mark forever on the Oakville wrestling program. With Zach Romelius and Sydney Thompson, I'm Evan Locknett for Channel 97 News. Now it's time for Tiger Walking.
Welcome to Tiger Walking. Since St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, we decided to ask students where they would hide their pot of gold.
In my backpack.
In Nick Lansford's basement, there's this little hideout in there.
Zimbabwe. Germany. Probably Zimbabwe too.
The toilet tower.
My mattress.
So I was gonna hide mine.
Hide it in my basement couch because swag.
In a dumpster.
I wouldn't hide it. I would give it to the children in Africa because they don't have any money.
I would hide it in the ocean.
You can't get it out of the ocean.
Under my surfboard. A cave.
In the forest with a bunch of gorillas.
St. Patrick's Day is on March 17th. Remember to hide your pot of gold. I'm Natalie Schmidt with Sophie Syme with Channel 97 News.
That wraps up this edition of Channel 97 News. Our next show airs March 10th.
And just a reminder, you can see all of our shows at myohsonline.com. Just click on the Channel 97 tab. Thanks for watching today's show. I'm Evan Locknett.
And I'm Kira De La Fuente. Remember, Oakville, keep your eyes on the Tigers.
Today's edition of Channel 97 News is sponsored by Antidote Media Solutions, located in downtown St. Louis.